Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a life where every second counts, where each moment fuels your journey towards something greater. The power to shape such a life is in your hands, and it all begins with learning to master time while time slips away for most. Those who understand its value unlock a rare secret, the ability to turn minutes into milestones and hours into achievements. This is your opportunity to be one of them in a world of endless distractions and fleeting moments. Mastering your time isn't just about productivity, it's about designing a life that truly matters. Are you ready to take control? Time is the one thing we all spend without getting back. Imagine if I told you that at this very moment you're holding the most valuable resource in the world right here, right now. But here's the catch: each passing second slips through our fingers, gone forever. In a world where distractions seem endless, making the most of your time isn't just about packing your day with activities. It's about investing each minute with intention, passion, and purpose. It's easy to stay busy. We all know how to do that. But being purposefully productive, that's what sets people apart. And by the end of this speech, I hope you'll see why making the best use of your time is the first step to a life without regrets. Time is one of the most precious and finite resources we have. Unlike money, health, or material possessions, time is a resource that once spent can never be reclaimed or regained. Every second that passes is a second we can never retrieve, making time one of the most valuable assets we possess. And yet, many of us go through our days without giving much thought to how we're spending this non-renewable resource. Time is impartial, it doesn't discriminate, and it doesn't play favorites. Each of us has exactly 24 hours in a day. Yet how we choose to use this time determines the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who fall short. The concept of time being non-renewable is rooted in the simple fact that it's constantly moving forward, never pausing or rewinding. This is why it's so important to be mindful about how we spend it. When we view time as abundant and endless, we're more likely to let it slip through our fingers, treating it as something that can always be reclaimed or made up later. But time doesn't work that way. Once an hour has passed, it's gone forever, which makes the choices we make with our time deeply significant. Every choice comes with an opportunity cost. When we choose to spend our time on one activity, we inherently choose to forgo other options that could have used those same minutes or hours. This simple concept is profound when we apply it to our daily lives. Every decision we make about how to spend our time affects our future opportunities, progress, and overall happiness. Most of us can recall moments or even entire periods in our lives that we feel were wasted or misspent. These lost moments accumulate, often leading to regret when we realize how different things could have been if we had used our time more wisely. Regret is one of the most common and painful emotions associated with wasted time, because we are fully aware that we cannot go back and make different choices. By valuing our time as we would any other precious resource, we begin to make more deliberate, intentional decisions. The awareness that time is fleeting often serves as a powerful motivator to prioritize what truly matters to us and to spend our moments accordingly. Time management often gets reduced to the idea of packing as many tasks as possible into a day, but the real essence of time management is much deeper. It's about creating a life that aligns with our values, goals, and desires. This approach to time isn't about cramming every waking moment with activity, but rather understanding that each second is a chance to move closer to what fulfills us. When we treat time as irreplaceable, we start evaluating what tasks and activities are worth dedicating ourselves to. We learn to distinguish between activities that bring us closer to our dreams and those that simply fill the hours without contributing to our personal growth. Consider the perspective that each moment of time holds potential, whether for relaxation, work, connection, or learning. Time, when utilized purposefully, can transform our lives. For example, a single hour each day dedicated to learning a new skill can, over months and years, lead to mastery. Consistent time invested in relationships nurtures bonds that can last a lifetime. The habit of valuing each moment as irreplaceable helps us avoid the pitfall of waiting for the right time to pursue our passions. It encourages us to take immediate action toward our goals and seize opportunities as they arise. Another powerful way to understand the value of time is through the concept of compounded returns. Just like with financial investments, the consistent and deliberate investment of time into meaningful activities yields significant rewards over time. Small, incremental efforts compound into substantial achievements. For example, if you spend just 20 minutes a day reading about a topic over the course of a year, you would have spent over 120 hours learning, which could result in expertise or a valuable new skill. This principle applies to everything from building relationships and developing talents to achieving professional goals. Each day, when you view time as an opportunity to make progress, even the smallest actions contribute to a more fulfilling and successful future. The fact that time is non-renewable also invites us to reevaluate our everyday distractions and time-wasting habits. In a world filled with digital distractions, it's easy to lose hours scrolling on social media or binge-watching television. These activities can provide momentary satisfaction, but often lead to long-term dissatisfaction if they prevent us from making progress in areas that matter to us. Understanding that time cannot be recovered pushes us to examine these habits and decide if they are truly worth our time or if they're merely conveniences that ultimately hold us back. In this sense, treating time as irreplaceable is about becoming conscious of every choice we make and aligning our actions with our long-term aspirations. Each day is an opportunity to assess our priorities, set intentions, and act in ways that reflect our values and goals. We are all given a limited amount of time, and how we use it is entirely up to us. By recognizing that time is a non-renewable resource, we empower ourselves to make choices that bring purpose, fulfillment, and joy into our lives. This realization, when fully embraced, can inspire us to live more intentionally, ensuring that each day we experience the richness that comes from time well spent. The power of purposeful time management is rooted in aligning your daily activities with meaningful goals and values. Time management isn't just about fitting more tasks into a day. It's about ensuring the actions you take are impactful and meaningful, moving you closer to what you truly want to achieve. Purposeful time management demands a shift in perspective. Instead of looking at time as something to simply get through, it becomes a tool to help create a fulfilling, balanced, and successful life. Every day we face countless decisions on how to spend our time. And these decisions have a direct impact on our long-term success, happiness, and sense of purpose. To manage time purposefully, we need to start by clarifying our goals and values. Without clarity on what we want to achieve, time management can feel like an endless cycle of doing things that don't add up to anything meaningful. Setting specific, realistic goals helps us direct our time and energy toward what truly matters. For example, if personal growth, career advancement, or quality relationships are priorities, these goals should be at the forefront of our time management efforts. This way, every hour spent is an investment in achieving a clear purpose, not just a routine for the sake of staying busy. When our goals are front and center, we're less likely to drift into time-wasting activities and more likely to stay focused on meaningful tasks. One of the most powerful aspects of purposeful time management is the ability to say no to distractions and non-essential activities. In a world that's constantly competing for our attention, managing distractions becomes a key part of managing our time effectively. This doesn't mean cutting out enjoyable activities, but rather ensuring they don't interfere with our larger goals. Purposeful time management allows us to recognize what's essential and what's expendable, helping us protect our focus and energy for tasks that truly matter. It gives us permission to prioritize and to set boundaries with ourselves and others. Saying no is not about being inflexible, it's about making choices that align with our goals, which ultimately leads to a more satisfying and accomplished life. Another essential component of purposeful time management is planning. A well-thought-out plan helps us anticipate our day, week, or even month and make intentional decisions about how to spend our time. Instead of reacting to tasks as they come, we proactively decide which tasks get our time and attention. Planning allows us to break down our long-term goals into manageable steps, which can be tackled daily or weekly. This structured approach keeps us focused on our progress and minimizes the likelihood of getting sidetracked by less important activities. Each day begins with a clear understanding of what needs to be accomplished, which reinforces our commitment to staying on track with our goals. Purposeful time management also requires us to balance our time between different areas of life. Achieving success in one area, like a career, often requires effort and focus. However, solely focusing on work can lead to neglect in other essential areas, such as personal relationships or self-care. True success is holistic. It encompasses both personal and professional fulfillment. Purposeful time management helps us allocate time in a balanced way, ensuring we don't sacrifice long-term happiness for short-term gains. By maintaining balance, we sustain our productivity, avoid burnout, and cultivate a well-rounded life. This approach brings a sense of harmony, ensuring that each part of our life receives the attention it deserves. A key principle of purposeful time management is eliminating busyness for the sake of productivity. It's common to mistake being busy for being productive. Purposeful time management shifts the focus from quantity to quality, encouraging us to engage in deep work and meaningful tasks that bring us closer to our goals. This means taking the time to prioritize high-impact tasks rather than filling our day with smaller, less meaningful ones. Working on fewer, more impactful activities leads to more significant progress and a sense of fulfillment. This principle frees us from the pressure to constantly be busy and instead promotes a more mindful, intentional approach to productivity. Reflection and adjustment are also integral to purposeful time management. Life is dynamic, and our goals, needs, and priorities evolve over time. To stay aligned with our goals, we need to periodically assess how we're spending our time and make adjustments as necessary. Reflection allows us to evaluate whether our time management strategies are working or if changes need to be made. This practice helps us identify areas where we're excelling and areas where we may be falling short. By regularly reassessing our approach, we ensure that our time is always directed toward our current goals, keeping us on the right path no matter what changes come our way. Purposeful time management cultivates a sense of control and confidence. When we know our time is being used in alignment with our goals, we feel empowered and motivated. This sense of control boosts our confidence and reduces stress because we're actively shaping our own lives rather than simply responding to external demands. Time management becomes a tool of self-empowerment, helping us build the life we want rather than the one dictated by random events and demands. Each day becomes an opportunity to take steps that are consistent with our vision, leading to a life marked by purpose, satisfaction, and achievement. By managing time with intention, we're no longer at the mercy of distractions or the pressures to do more. Instead, we gain clarity and focus, which ultimately helps us become more successful in both personal spheres and professional spheres. The notion of being busy is a concept that has become almost a badge of honor in today's fast-paced world. However, it's important to distinguish between simply being busy and being genuinely productive. This distinction matters because being busy can give the illusion of progress, while in reality it may be leading us nowhere meaningful. The myth of being busy is rooted in the assumption that constant activity equals accomplishment, but real productivity is about creating value and achieving specific goals rather than just filling our time. When we understand the difference, we can begin to approach our work and life with greater purpose and intention, focusing on results rather than the sheer volume of activity. One reason the myth of busyness is so pervasive is that it often feels like we're accomplishing something simply because we're active. Checking emails, attending meetings, and handling endless tasks can fill up our day and make us feel that we've been productive. But if these activities aren't aligned with our larger goals, they may contribute little to our overall progress. Productivity isn't about the number of tasks completed, but about completing the right tasks, those that move us toward our priorities and goals. This shift in mindset requires a conscious evaluation of our daily activities. It's easy to default to what's immediately in front of us, especially tasks that give us a sense of accomplishment in the short term. But true productivity asks us to look beyond immediate satisfaction and focus on meaningful outcomes. An effective way to overcome the myth of busyness is through prioritization. Not all tasks are created equal. Some contribute far more to our goals than others. Yet many people tend to prioritize tasks based on urgency rather than importance. Urgent tasks often seem pressing because they have immediate deadlines, but they're not always the most valuable in terms of long-term results. Important tasks, on the other hand, are those that, when accomplished, have a lasting impact on our objectives. They may not have the same pressing deadlines, but they require dedicated time and focus. When we prioritize important tasks over merely urgent ones, we shift our focus to value creation. This approach encourages us to manage our time in a way that maximizes meaningful accomplishments rather than just filling up our schedule. The culture of business is also closely tied to the concept of multitasking, another myth that can reduce true productivity. While it's tempting to juggle multiple tasks at once to feel as though we're doing more, multitasking can actually decrease our efficiency and focus. Studies show that our brains are not designed to handle multiple high-level tasks simultaneously. Each time we switch from one task to another, we lose a small amount of focus and productivity. This switching can also lead to errors and a lower quality of work, ultimately requiring more time to correct. True productivity is about focusing on one task at a time, allowing for a deeper engagement and higher quality results. Single tasking, or focusing on completing one task before moving on to the next, helps us give our best to each endeavor. Another way to break free from the cycle of busyness is by setting clear, measurable goals. Goals give our actions purpose and direction, acting as benchmarks against which we can measure our progress. Without clear goals, it's easy to get swept up in a stream of daily activities that don't add up to much. For instance, if a person's goal is to improve their skill in a certain area, activities like mindlessly browsing the internet or handling non-essential tasks do little to advance that goal. When our activities are aligned with our goals, we can track meaningful progress, which feels far more fulfilling than simply completing a large volume of low-impact tasks. Setting goals also encourages accountability as we become aware of whether our actions are taking us closer to or further from our objectives. Another crucial component in distinguishing productivity from busyness is the concept of intentional rest and reflection. In a culture that values constant activity, rest can sometimes be seen as unproductive, yet intentional breaks are essential for sustained productivity. Regular rest prevents burnout and increases our ability to focus, making it easier to tackle important tasks with fresh energy and clarity. Reflecting on how we spend our time allows us to evaluate our daily activities and decide if they're serving our goals or just filling the day. By incorporating breaks and reflection into our routine, we allow ourselves to recharge and refocus on what truly matters, making our productive hours more impactful. A major driver of busyness is often external pressure, such as societal expectations or workplace demands, which can lead us to take on tasks that don't serve our goals. It's easy to feel that saying yes to every request demonstrates our commitment, but in reality, overcommitting leads to a crowded schedule filled with obligations that may not align with our priorities. Learning to say no to tasks that don't add value to our personal or professional goals is an essential skill. To say no isn't about being uncooperative, it's about understanding our limits and prioritizing the activities that align with our values. By setting boundaries, we gain control over our time and focus on what truly contributes to our productivity rather than simply staying busy. Breaking free from the myth of busyness is about adopting a more intentional approach to how we spend our time. We need to recognize that productivity isn't measured by how much we do, but by the impact of what we do. This shift in mindset allows us to spend less time on activities that simply fill our day and more time on activities that have a meaningful effect on our lives. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of accomplishment that is based on real achievements rather than on a busy schedule. Purposeful productivity enables us to focus on the things that matter, leading to a more fulfilling and balanced life. By identifying what truly contributes to our growth and success, we can shed the myth of busyness and create a life that is both purposeful and productive. Avoiding procrastination and taking action immediately can be one of the most effective ways to make the best use of time. Procrastination often gives a false sense of relief, leading us to believe that we have plenty of time or that we can delay tasks without consequence. However, this delay can create a buildup of tasks, leading to a cycle of stress and last-minute work that compromises the quality of our output. When we consistently put off what we know needs to be done, we're not only risking the integrity of our work, but we're also increasing stress and reducing the time we could have spent on valuable activities. Breaking the habit of procrastination by taking action right away can have a transformative effect on productivity, confidence, and the quality of our work. One of the main reasons people procrastinate is fear of failure or perfectionism. When a task feels overwhelming or when we're unsure of how to proceed, it's easy to avoid it rather than face the potential difficulty or imperfection. This fear can lead to a cycle of postponement, which only intensifies the stress associated with the task. By delaying, we often build the task up in our minds, making it seem even more challenging or unpleasant than it actually is. Over time, this creates a mental block that makes it harder to get started. One effective way to overcome this form of procrastination is by breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. This approach allows us to make incremental progress without feeling overwhelmed. And as each small step is completed, the task begins to feel more achievable. Taking immediate action, even if it's just starting with the first small step, can help reduce the stress of procrastination. Another driver of procrastination is the tendency to seek instant gratification. Activities that offer immediate pleasure, like browsing social media or watching TV, can be tempting distractions that pull us away from our responsibilities. While these activities provide a quick boost of enjoyment, they often prevent us from engaging in tasks that contribute to our long-term goals. This cycle of instant gratification versus delayed gratification is at the heart of many procrastination issues. Choosing to delay immediate pleasures in favor of meaningful action helps us develop discipline and build momentum. Over time, we learn to associate productivity with the satisfaction of making real progress toward our goals, creating a shift from seeking temporary enjoyment to valuing lasting achievement. Taking action immediately also allows us to harness our initial motivation and energy. When we first identify a task that needs to be done, there's often a spark of motivation or interest that comes with it. However, if we delay action, that initial drive can quickly fade, leaving us feeling indifferent or even reluctant. This loss of momentum can make tasks feel much harder than they initially seemed, increasing the likelihood that we'll put them off even longer. By acting immediately, we leverage our initial motivation, making it easier to complete tasks with a sense of purpose and energy. This approach also builds momentum as we accomplish one task. The satisfaction from completing it can fuel our desire to take on the next, creating a productive cycle. A useful strategy for avoiding procrastination is setting deadlines and personal commitments. Deadlines, even if they're self-imposed, create a sense of urgency that can help us prioritize action. When tasks are left open-ended, it's easy to keep pushing them into the future, but having a specific time frame in which to complete something helps us allocate the necessary time and resources. These deadlines don't have to be rigid, but can act as motivators to stay on track and make steady progress. For example, setting a goal to complete a task by the end of the day or week can help us make deliberate choices about how we spend our time, minimizing the temptation to delay. This approach not only combats procrastination, but also instills a sense of responsibility and accountability, making it more likely that we'll follow through. The concept of taking imperfect action can be a game changer in overcoming procrastination. Many people delay action because they want their work to be flawless from the start. However, aiming for perfection from the beginning can make starting a task feel daunting, causing unnecessary delays. Embracing the idea of imperfect action means allowing yourself to begin, knowing that revisions and improvements can be made later. This mindset helps overcome the fear of imperfection and focuses on making steady progress rather than waiting for ideal conditions. Over time, this approach builds confidence and resilience, making it easier to take on new challenges without being held back by the need for perfection. One of the most significant benefits of immediate action is that it leads to a clearer mind and reduced stress. When tasks pile up due to procrastination, the mental burden grows, creating a background noise that affects our focus, mood, and energy levels. This mental clutter can make it difficult to fully engage in the present moment, as unfinished tasks remain a constant source of worry. By taking action and completing tasks promptly, we alleviate this mental weight, allowing us to approach each day with greater clarity and calm. This approach also fosters a sense of accomplishment as we're able to look back and see tangible results from our efforts, reinforcing the habit of immediate action. Taking action right away can lead to unexpected benefits, such as opportunities for growth and learning. When we avoid tasks, we miss out on the experiences and insights that come from engaging with them. Immediate action often involves problem solving and adapting to challenges, which can teach us new skills and deepen our understanding. For instance, starting a challenging project might reveal new information or strategies that help improve the quality of the work. Procrastination, on the other hand, can prevent us from encountering these learning moments. keeping us within our comfort zones and limiting personal and professional development. By consistently choosing action over delay, we not only make better use of our time, but also open ourselves to growth opportunities. Breaking free from procrastination requires a commitment to making conscious choices about how we spend our time. By prioritizing immediate action over delay, we cultivate a proactive approach to life that allows us to achieve our goals with less stress and greater efficiency. Over time, this habit of taking action becomes ingrained, transforming our relationship with time and enabling us to accomplish more with a sense of purpose and clarity. Embracing immediate action as a default response to tasks is one of the most powerful ways to use time effectively, creating a fulfilling and accomplished life. Learning to prioritize tasks based on importance rather than urgency is a crucial skill for anyone aiming to make the best use of their time. Many people are overwhelmed by to-do lists filled with urgent but low-impact tasks that may seem essential but don't truly contribute to their long-term goals. Urgency tends to create a sense of anxiety and rush, pushing us to focus on tasks with immediate deadlines rather than on those that align with our values or aspirations. By prioritizing based on importance, we can redirect our energy toward tasks that contribute to our growth, development, and success, fostering a more intentional approach to productivity that emphasizes meaningful achievements over a high volume of activity. One way to understand the difference between urgency and importance is by looking at the types of tasks that fall into each category. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention. They may include responding to emails, meeting short-term deadlines, or handling last-minute requests. While these tasks often need to be done, they don't necessarily bring us closer to our broader goals. Important tasks, on the other hand, are those that have a lasting impact and contribute significantly to our long-term objectives. For example, personal development, skill building, and strategic planning are all important tasks that yield long-term benefits. When we fail to prioritize important tasks, we might find ourselves in a perpetual state of putting out fires, constantly responding to urgent demands without making meaningful progress. To prioritize effectively, it can be helpful to assess the relative value of tasks by evaluating their potential impact. This requires understanding what's truly significant in both our personal and professional lives. A helpful framework for this process is the Eisenhower matrix, which categorizes tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. This matrix enables us to see which tasks genuinely deserve our attention and which can be delegated, postponed, or even eliminated. Tasks that are both urgent and important should be tackled right away, while those that are important but not urgent should be scheduled and allocated specific times in our calendar. By setting aside dedicated time for important tasks, we ensure that they are completed without being overshadowed by less impactful activities. Another essential aspect of prioritizing by importance is learning to set boundaries. In today's connected world, we are often bombarded by constant notifications, emails, and messages, all of which seem urgent at the moment. Without boundaries, it's easy to be pulled into tasks that are urgent for others, but not necessarily important to us. By setting limits on interruptions, we gain control over our schedule and can focus on tasks that align with our priorities. For instance, setting aside blocks of time each day when we focus solely on our important tasks, free from distractions, allows us to make significant progress. This also involves learning to say no to requests that don't contribute to our goals. While it can be challenging to turn down people's demands, saying no to low priority requests is essential for maintaining focus and dedicating our time to what truly matters. Another key to prioritizing important tasks is developing the discipline to tackle them even when they're not immediately gratifying. Important tasks, particularly those related to long-term goals, may not provide instant rewards, making them easy to put off. For instance, studying for a new certification, working on a personal project, or investing time in a fitness goal are all activities that take time to show results. By staying disciplined and consistently working on these tasks, we create a foundation for long-term success. Regularly dedicating time to important activities, even when they're not urgent, builds momentum and eventually creates a cumulative effect. where small efforts made consistently lead to substantial achievements over time. Reviewing and reevaluating our priorities regularly is also critical for effective time management. Life is constantly changing, and our goals and values can shift as we grow and encounter new experiences. What was important a year ago may no longer hold the same value today. Regularly assessing our priorities ensures that we are spending time on what matters most at any given point. This can involve weekly or monthly reviews of our goals and tasks, helping us stay aligned with our current objectives. A regular review process also allows us to identify tasks that may have become habitual but no longer serve our growth. By consciously eliminating or reducing time spent on outdated tasks, we can free up energy and time for more impactful activities. Technology can also play a helpful role in prioritizing important tasks. Various tools like task management apps and calendars allow us to set reminders, schedule activities, and monitor progress on our goals. Many of these tools allow us to categorize tasks by priority, ensuring that we focus on important activities first. However, technology can be a double-edged sword if not used mindfully. Notifications and reminders about less important tasks can easily become distractions, so it's essential to configure these tools in a way that keeps us focused on our top priorities. Turning off unnecessary notifications, setting specific times for checking emails, and using Do Not Disturb. Modes can all help in maintaining focus on high-impact activities. Delegation is another useful strategy in prioritizing by importance. Not all tasks need to be completed by ourselves, especially those that are urgent but not important to our core objectives. By delegating such tasks to others, whether in a personal or professional context, we create more time for activities that align with our goals. Delegation isn't simply offloading tasks. It's a way to ensure that our time is spent where it matters most. For instance, if someone's goal is to improve their skills in a particular area, they might delegate administrative tasks to focus on skill building. Effective delegation also involves trusting others to handle tasks responsibly, which can help develop a more collaborative environment both at work and in personal projects. Prioritizing tasks based on importance is about taking a long-term view of our time. Rather than being driven by immediate demands, we learn to make deliberate choices about where we invest our efforts. This shift in focus helps us avoid the pitfall of feeling busy without making progress, allowing us to achieve more meaningful results. By consistently choosing activities that align with our goals, we cultivate a fulfilling and purpose-driven approach to life, where our time is spent creating lasting value. This approach not only enhances productivity but also leads to greater satisfaction, as we can look back on our accomplishments with a sense of purpose and achievement. Self-discipline is the foundation of effective time management, serving as the bridge between our intentions and our actions. Many people set ambitious goals and make detailed plans, but without self-discipline, even the best laid plans remain unrealized. Self-discipline provides the consistency needed to follow through on commitments, making it easier to stick to schedules, resist distractions, and complete tasks in a timely manner. Time management isn't merely about planning and prioritizing, it's also about developing the inner strength to control impulses and maintain focus, even when we're tired, bored, or tempted by distractions. This level of control is what enables people to make significant, meaningful progress over time. Developing self-discipline starts with setting clear and specific goals. General intentions like I want to be more productive lack the clarity needed to guide consistent action. In contrast, having a well-defined goal, such as I want to write 500 words every morning, provides a specific objective and time frame, making it easier to measure success. Setting achievable and time-bound goals creates a roadmap for disciplined action, as it gives us something concrete to work toward. Specific goals also enhance motivation, as we can clearly see our progress over time and are more likely to feel a sense of accomplishment with each milestone. Breaking down larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks further enhances self-discipline, as it makes the process feel less overwhelming and more achievable. Routine is a powerful ally in building self-discipline, as it reduces the need for constant decision-making and creates a predictable framework for our day. Establishing regular routines minimizes the chances of giving in to distractions or procrastination as we create habitual actions that guide us toward our goals. For example, dedicating the first hour of the day to important tasks, like working on a long-term project or learning a new skill, can make a significant difference over time. By establishing consistent routines, we free ourselves from the mental strain of having to decide each day what to focus on, and instead, we automatically follow a pattern that leads to productive behavior. Over time, these routines become second nature, reducing the likelihood of giving in to momentary urges and making disciplined actions feel more effortless. Another key component of self-discipline is managing and minimizing distractions, which can disrupt focus and waste valuable time. In our modern world, where we're constantly connected through devices and social media, distractions are plentiful and tempting. However, people who master time management recognize that limiting distractions is essential for maintaining productivity.
Simple steps like turning off notifications, setting specific times to check emails or social media, and creating a quiet workspace can help minimize interruptions and foster an environment conducive to focus.
Creating boundaries around distractions not only improves our concentration but also strengthens self-discipline as we learn to control our impulses and prioritize our goals over immediate gratification. Managing energy is equally crucial in maintaining self-discipline. Effective time management is not just about the quantity of time we have, but also the quality of the time we spend working. Fatigue, burnout, and stress can weaken self-discipline, making it challenging to stay focused and productive. By paying attention to our energy levels, we can strategically schedule demanding tasks when we are most alert and energized. For example, if someone is naturally more focused in the morning, they might schedule their most challenging tasks at the start of the day and save less demanding tasks for later. Taking regular breaks, eating nutritious meals, and getting enough sleep all contribute to a steady level of energy that supports sustained focus. By managing our energy effectively, we create the conditions needed to practice self-discipline consistently and avoid the pitfalls of exhaustion and burnout. A growth mindset, which is the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning, is also essential for cultivating self-discipline. People with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities for improvement rather than as obstacles, making them more resilient in the face of setbacks. When they encounter difficulties, they are more likely to persevere, learning from their experiences and adapting their approach. This resilience strengthens self-discipline as it fosters a sense of commitment and determination, even in the face of obstacles. Rather than being discouraged by failure, individuals with a growth mindset view setbacks as learning opportunities, which helps them stay committed to their goals and practice self-discipline over the long term. This mindset shift not only enhances productivity but also promotes personal growth as individuals become more willing to push their limits and expand their capabilities. Another strategy for building self-discipline is practicing delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of a more valuable reward in the future. It's a skill that underlies many aspects of time management, as it enables us to stay focused on tasks that may not be immediately rewarding but offer significant long-term benefits. Practicing delayed gratification can be challenging, especially in today's culture of instant rewards, but it is a skill that can be strengthened over time. Simple practices, such as setting small goals and rewarding oneself only after those goals are met, can build this skill. For instance, if someone is working on a challenging project, they might set a small reward, like a coffee break or a walk, once a certain milestone is achieved. This practice not only reinforces self-discipline, but also builds confidence in one's ability to work toward long-term goals without constantly seeking immediate rewards. Accountability is another effective tool for strengthening self-discipline. When we share our goals with others, we create an external source of motivation, as we feel a sense of responsibility to follow through. This can be done through accountability partners, mentors, or even by publicly declaring goals on social media or within a supportive community. Knowing that others are aware of our commitments can provide the extra push needed to stay disciplined, as we're more likely to keep promises made to others. Regular check-ins or progress reports with an accountability partner can also help us stay on track, providing encouragement and constructive feedback when needed. By making our goals public, we add an additional layer of motivation that reinforces our self-discipline. Celebrating small wins and progress is essential for maintaining motivation and reinforcing self-discipline. Achieving long-term goals requires sustained effort, and it's easy to become discouraged if we don't acknowledge our progress along the way. Celebrating small wins allows us to see the results of our disciplined efforts and provides positive reinforcement, making it easier to stay motivated. This doesn't mean rewarding every small accomplishment extravagantly, even simple acknowledgments, like taking a moment to reflect on a completed task or sharing achievements with a friend, can boost motivation. By celebrating small victories, we create a positive association with disciplined behavior, making it easier to maintain over time. Self-discipline isn't about rigidly forcing ourselves to work. It's about creating habits and mindsets support our goals, making time management feel rewarding rather than restrictive. Self-discipline, at its core, is about self-control and consistency. It's the willingness to set aside short-term pleasures and distractions in favor of meaningful, goal-oriented action. When we master self-discipline, we gain control over our time and, by extension, our lives. Self-discipline allows us to use time as a tool for personal growth, achievement, and fulfillment, creating a foundation for success that extends far beyond simply managing a schedule. By incorporating these habits and strategies, we not only enhance our productivity, but also build a life that reflects our highest priorities and values. Mastering the art of time management transforms how we approach each day, elevating productivity, reducing stress, and empowering us to achieve our goals with purpose. Time, being our most finite resource, deserves careful stewardship. By focusing on priorities, avoiding unnecessary distractions, setting realistic goals, and practicing self-discipline, we harness the full potential of each moment. The power to make the best use of our time lies within us, waiting to be tapped into with intentional effort. Embracing these strategies not only paves the way for personal and professional success, but also allows us to lead a more fulfilling and balanced life, where our actions align with our aspirations. Ultimately, how we use our time defines our achievements and our legacy.